So we come back to the biggest one, which is resting metabolism. So your resting calorie burn. And what's interesting is not a lot of people know that you can actually influence this. So the main thing that actually influences your resting calorie burn, other than digestion, all of the other stuff that we discussed, is if you turn around and you build muscle. So that's why when you see people that are pretty lean, in good shape, and all of this stuff, you can see that they usually can eat more of the stuff that others can't. They usually have a higher calorie intake than other people, because the more lean you are and the more muscle you build, you actually end up increasing your metabolism. So I think a simple example to illustrate this. So I mean, this is a calculator online. You can go to and put in your information, but I specifically use this one to basically because it takes in your body fat. And so if it takes in your body fat and it considers it into the calculation, we're talking about lean body mass. So it means you're more muscular with a lower body fat, right? So I put exactly the same statistics in. And I said, it's a 40-year-old male, 175 centimeters, 70 kgs, moderate exercise. But I said it's 25% body fat. That gives a maintenance calories per day of 2,331. So maintenance calories is basically to maintain your weight, right? Now, what if you turn around exactly the same data and you say, okay, the person is 8% body fat. So that those 70 kilos are much more muscular than the previous information that we put. Look at the calories. It's 2,730. So basically, you've increased your daily calories by 400 calories. Your weekly has gone up basically by almost 3,000 calories. So, I mean, in the end, the more muscle that somebody builds and the more muscular that they are, they're going to actually get a higher burn rate. So, I mean, this is quite simple, because fat doesn't require a lot of energy, because fat by nature is a storage mechanism for your body. But muscle, actually, even if you're resting, even if you're sleeping, requires more energy per pound per kilo. So, and again, this is something I found online, something very simple. Now, there's a lot of stuff being said out there. I think the simplest way is just to turn around and say, if you want to do this, and again, I'm not saying that somebody that wants to do tennis has to do this. No. If you prefer doing tennis, if you prefer golfing, if you prefer squash as your exercise, go ahead and do that. I'm just explaining to you the most effective way is actually by building muscle. And if you try to go down that route, you're actually going to lose more body fat, and over time you're going to have a higher resting metabolism, right? So I think the main point is, it's the weightlifting that we know. It's the strength training that you see online. And again, those three options that I gave you, or recommendations that I gave you, 10x, Erica Sky, and Athlean X will all do that for you. So I mean, whether you do bodyweight exercises, you do push-ups, you do whatever, that is going to do it for you. You up your protein, you're going to build muscle. That's the reality. Okay. I think Jeff Cavalier on Athlean X talked about it quite extensively, and he's made the point, in all fairness, about the fact that building muscle is the fastest way for body fat loss. Um, the other points is he also talks about compound exercises and complex exercises. What a lot of people do, and I still see that in gyms, whenever I'm at a gym, you see a guy that's not necessarily in the best shape, but he's turning around and he's doing a tricep push down. And it's interesting because that's what people have somehow related weight training and resisting training to. They think, oh, I've seen bodybuilders doing, bicep curls, doing, tricep push downs and all of this stuff. Those are really isolation exercises. And to tell you the truth, you need to be pretty advanced on your journey to turn around and be doing those isolation exercises to build, a single muscle group, right? Now, what you'll hear about is probably the best thing for you to do in the beginning, and I still do them today, by the way, is focus on your complex exercise. A complex exercise is something like a bench press, is something like a pull-up, it's something like a deadlift. And those exercises, or squat, for example, and there's different variations that you can do of a squat, right? But I think those engage more muscle groups. Because it engages more muscle groups, you burn more calories, you build more muscle, and your overall strength is better. I have to say, in the beginning of my, 20 years ago when I was doing bodybuilding, doing all of this stuff, I was focused on the isolation exercises. I had fundamental issues with my body because I did not have a strong core strength. I was strong when it came to, the usual bench press, squats, whatever, but I wasn't actually strong as um, in my core. So I had a lot of injuries, a lot of issues. So again, doing complex exercises, obviously you need to look at the weight you're doing and how you're doing it in terms of your form. They're not only going to build muscle faster, you're going to lose more weight, body fat. You're going to also build up more strength. Um, they're actually the better ones to actually start with. I still use them today, so I always have specific complex or compound exercises that I go to. I still deadlift till today. Um, and again, Jeff Cavalier on Athlete MX was talking about it. He was talking about, it's a good video to watch. Actually, it's a bit advanced again. How to lose stubborn body fat, and he talks about it. He talks about, how weight training impacts that, and that weight training is weight training, i.e., building muscle as well, is more effective than actually doing cardio. So a lot of people believe, okay, if I run on a treadmill, that's more effective than turning around and lifting weights. It's not true, because the person that's lifting weights is actually going to build more muscle and over time is going to burn more calories, even though the person running on the treadmill looks like he or she is on their weight loss journey. So, and then he talks about complexes. So, when he talks about complexes, he's talking about, compound exercises and how you can transition in between them into a kind of circuit training. So you kind of combine the resistance of weight training plus the cardio by doing the two. Now, I personally think the easiest way to do that, and we'll have a whole section on, about kettlebells and really the kind of huge benefits that kettlebells have. Kettlebells, I mean, and you can see here on the left-hand side, I mean, this is from, the International Sports Science Association. So these are the people that for the last decades have been certifying trainers, and they're talking about, the 5 key things about kettlebells. And I can tell you, kettlebells have huge benefits. They build up your strength. What's also great about them, one of the side effects, for example, when you do kettlebell swings, is that it's an intense cardio workout as well. So When you do kettlebell swings, for example, in my case, my heartbeat reaches 150, 160 beats per minute because it's a very strenuous exercise on all of your body. So I think, kettlebells will have a full section on them, but I think it's one of the ways that you can get into this, complex exercises where you are doing high intensity, you are building up strength, and you're turning around and you're building also having a cardiovascular workout. Um, and I can tell you, 20 minutes of kettlebell swings you can see online. There's so many different researches about it. People losing 100 pounds, and it's not this anecdotal Instagram stuff. No, this is actual research where they show people, they put people on 20 minutes of kettlebell swings per day, and that's one exercise. So again, you can download this poster on the right. It's also available if you want to buy it on Amazon. It just goes through all the different kettlebell exercises, and that's what I use. I just go through that, say, okay, these are the exercises I want to do. And what's great about them, is that most of the exercises, almost 99%, are not isolation exercises. That works your whole body. It usually works your core, core being your abs and your lower back and your obliques, which means that you build up overall strength. And most people, and again, evidence-based, most people that start doing kettlebell swings and start to do them as part of their regimen to be power lifters or be, strength athletes, have seen huge gains in their other uh, activities like bench press, squat, pull-ups because of the kettlebell swings, or kettlebells in general, right? So again, I just thought we'll put it out there. We're going to have a whole section, not section, but podcast about kettlebells, what you can do, what workouts, which kettlebells you should buy, which ones are best for the home, which ones are the best in general. So we're huge advocates of using kettlebells to work out. So again, I mean, in summary, trying to keep it simple. Pick an exercise that you enjoy. That's going to make it easier. Be okay with the fact that might change over time. You might start with wanting to do high intensity ab workouts, and then you might end up doing weightlifting, or you might end up doing CrossFit. That's okay. Find something that you enjoy. Whether it's dancing, tennis, golf, whatever. Find something that's going to burn the calories. You can do 20 minutes per day, 100 to 200 calories. Increase your steps and your move goals. So, try to turn around and get more active. This is super important. I mean, I live on the second floor. I take the stairs. I don't, there is an elevator. I just don't use it, right? If you don't want to do that, just go out to the supermarket, go out to the mall, go out wherever. And, when you're going for lunch with people from work, take a walk afterwards or before or whatever. Just try to increase how much movement is happening, because that will actually impact your goals. Eat more protein and fiber. I think we discussed that at length, and I think those are the simple ones that you can start. Don't get into the complicated ones and go online and say, okay, but should I be doing grapefruit or cayenne pepper? Just keep it simple. I mean, protein, fiber, proven. It makes an impact on your digestion calories. I would just stick with that. Again, building more muscle will increase your resting burn. And like I said before, pick an exercise you love. If you want, the most effective way is, yes, become leaner, build more muscle. That's going to burn more calories, and it's going to eventually increase your daily intake. I personally like doing it because in the end, over the course of a year, my calories have increased by 500 calories per day. So it's great. So I can actually consume more. I can eat more of the things that I like because I'm just leaner and I have more muscle, right? Complex exercises to burn and build muscle and strength, that's also, if you want to go down that route, that's the most effective way. And again, I mean, if you're planning to go this direction, really focus uh, on the stuff that we've put as recommendations. You don't need to get more complicated. Um, and if you like the idea of kettlebells, we'll do a separate podcast. But until then, I mean, you can search online. There's a lot of stuff on kettlebells, on the correct form, on how you're going to do them. But that's also a great way to burn calories and build up your muscle and strength. So I think that's it for activities. I mean, I think as a newbie, you pretty much have everything. So the nutrition is there. That's the most important part. Activities, now you know the different pieces of the puzzle. You can choose to attack one part in different phases, but ideally you look at the whole picture and say, okay, how am I going to do each one of these small things? Have a plan for that. So the next section, which is not mandatory, but we would recommend it, is tracking basics, where we talk about what you should be measuring, what you should be tracking. We'll also be talking about fitness trackers, which ones are the easiest, best ones, you know, best for your money, whatever you want to call it. And how you're going to set your goals. You know, how do you set realistic goals within these 3 months to make sure that you actually achieve what you're looking for in terms of body fat loss and getting fit. Again, thank you for listening in. If there's anything, please feel free to just message us on the platform. We can't get back to everybody, but obviously the more people that are interested in certain topics, we will address them in coming podcasts. Thank you and take care.